Welcome in, one and all. We got another LXC week starting here shortly. Going to be Rivals taking on OSGA. That's OSG Avalanche. My name is Righteous. Making his return from the Forbidden Forest or wherever he went is Husky. Husky, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I wish it was a Forbidden Forest. Just had to work last week, unfortunately. So the forest sounds a lot more fun, though.
Yeah, would have been maybe a little bit more fun. We missed you, but we're glad that you're back here for this week 6 matchup. Gonna be really fun, hopefully. I'm gonna jump into like I guess a matchup preview for these two teams. So on the stream now you can see how these two teams stack up against each other, and to put it bluntly, it looks like a lopsided affair that we have in store for tonight. Rivals, one of the hottest teams in the league. I think OSGA is the only one that has won more consecutive games than Rivals. So, and then not OSGA, sorry, OTLO. OSGA, on the other hand, has yet to pick up a win that wasn't via FF. So, very two different teams right now.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it looks like it should be a 2-0 Rivals, but we play the games for a reason. I mean, I would say, that OSGA is due, right? You have a 50-50 shot of winning and losing every game, so they're due to win one here.
Maybe it will be a tall task indeed for them. Some stats that stick out to me: OSGA is struggling with vision right now, which could contribute to a lot of their woes that they've seen so far in the regular season. And then the gold per minute, obviously pretty low as well. Kind of expected when you're on the bad side of one-sided affairs. So we will have to see how they stack up against this Rivals team that, other than like the week one, we'll call it the week one fiasco, the snowstorm has looked pretty hot. Has dropped a couple games here and there. Haven't been straight 2-0s like something like a OTLO has been doing in Sector 2, but has looked really good. I would venture to say, Husky, you missed probably Rivals' best performance last week. So if they're operating like they were last week, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I think they get a little stage fright when they see me on camera. So that's all right, guys. You can play loose. I'm here. I'm watching, but you guys can do a great job just like you did when I wasn't here.
So I think we are just waiting for a couple more of the OSGA members to come back. So I'll throw it back to us. Chat, how you doing? Sailor's in the chat right now, asking for Husky predictions, draft predictions. Let's see what else we got going on. I think we had
we have a subscription.
Let me see. Manamyth, thank you so much for the Prime. We really do appreciate the support. It's pretty fun to do some content for around League of Legends. Might be a dying game here in a couple years, but hopefully not. So we'll be around until it's gone and dusted, but we do appreciate the support. Looks like all 5 members of OSGA have arrived, and that means draft time here shortly. Eli101, thank you so much for the follow. Don't know why the alerts aren't popping up. I don't know. It's probably because I'm not CB. Let's be honest. CB won't give me the login. I'm just using a different means for getting on here. So if I miss anybody, please let me know in chat. Well, it looks like there was a couple. DP Fifi 3 hours ago. Rollinia 6 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate all that. Fifi is the guy who runs the Merc League, who our gold team is about to start later on this week. We have our first game for Merc League, so thank you, Fifi.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. Maybe they're trying to size up the competition. Of course, this is a totally different roster, but who knows? Same org. Maybe you'll see some stuff here that you'll see in the Gold League. You'll have to see. You'll have to turn it into Merc League games for that. Looks like ready checks are coming through. All right, and we are into draft. Rivals on the blue side, OSGA on the red. If you ask any competitive League of Legends gamer, they would say blue side is definitely the prio side. Rivals just happened to randomize into it for this matchup. So we'll have to see how OSGA likes red. Red, of course, does afford some draft flexibility on that R3 and R5 pick. But I don't know. I mean, this is an uphill battle for sure for OSGA. I don't think you'll win and lose in draft. Obviously, it comes into what's going on the Rift, but draft would definitely help if they're trying to look for a leg up on Rivals. But we already got some bans to talk about. Ash and Aurora banned away by Rivals, and Katarina, what's that champ? I don't really see it anymore. Nyla could be the bans for OSGA.
Yeah, Nyla's a different ban for sure. Like you said, not something that you see a lot of. The Yone was the third ban for Rivals. Not really a surprise there.
Yeah, Rivals side banning away 3 like high prio champions, I would say, especially when if you've been following the competitive scene a little bit in the LTA and whatnot. OSGA looks like it was a lot of target bans. They're going the take the comfort out of the player approach, banning away 3 strong picks from Salo, BKs, and Death Knight respectively. Rivals locks in B1 Amumu. OSG responds with a Rel pick. Rel jungle, of course, has long been dead, probably rotting away now. So we expect that to get support, and Sejuani going to be picked up for what I believe to be the jungle.
Lots of tanks picked so far. We're about to see some carries come through, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, right? I don't know. It would be kind of cool to see like 5v5 tanks, though. That'd be a different flavor for you on the Rift.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to cast that game, but
Dude, Husky, were you watching the recap last night? OSGA played against OSGS in a Civil War last week for the cross sector matchup. OSGS busted out the Kled Tarek bot lane. So you never know.
That is spicy. That is spicy. We have the tank killer, by the way, coming through for Rivals.
And honestly, just from the first 2 picks, of course, OSGA can kind of respond to an early picked Vayne, but from the first 2, I really like this Vayne pick. We'll definitely have an easier time shredding. The question remains how well is she going to fare in lane with the bot lane for OSGA not picked yet. But it looks like that Vayne's going to be paired with the Tarek, so maybe looking to be a little bit aggressive. What's her Q? Tumbling into the enemy with that stun available. We'll have to see. And Bessa for Matrix going to be picked up for OSGA on R3. So there's your. Go ahead.
I was going to say I do like playing Vayne, but not very meta right now. Kind of in a tough spot, but into a full team of tanks, it can work.
Without divulging too much, I definitely know that BKs has wanted to pick this champion for quite some time. So I guess OSGA is going to be the trial run. We'll have to see. LeBlanc banned away from Salo. Jinx going to be the ban in response. I imagine one other ADC ban, potentially like a Caitlyn, if Xerxes plays it, or something else to kind of let that Vayne thrive a little bit.
Caitlyn is his second most played ADC, so that would be my choice here if I was playing the Vayne.
Meanwhile, the Shen that has looked so potent into Death Knight's hands was banned away as well. So those are the 5 bans you see on the screen for OSGA, waiting on the 5th and final ban for Rivals. And then we get to see how these comps will fill out. Okay, Caitlyn left up. The Varus going to be banned away instead, which I guess makes sense, right? You have lockdown from the Rel, could be easily followed up by the Varus. The slows coming through, makes Vayne not have fun. We thought Caitlyn, though, and MF hovered instead. Husky, you know a little bit about this pick.
I've never played MF before. Anyone watching this stream, please do not ban my MF because I have never played it. I don't even know what that champ is.
Hypothetically, if you were to play, oh wow, that was a very fast switch into Galio lock. Not a lot of range picked for a comp that has a Vayne. Kind of interesting decisions coming out from OSGA, in my opinion. But we'll have to see. I will say, if OSGA's comp does get on top of the Vayne, I don't think she's ever going to move. So, going to be up to BKs to pilot it. Yeah. Going to have to make use of that ultimate and Q. Stay out of sight, out of mind. Silas hovered, but Jace locked for Salo. Pretty nice counter pick into the Galio mid. I'm assuming Galio mid. Maybe it's a rail Galio bot. Who knows? Lux hovered. Maybe it's Jace top.
Yeah, Rivals is lacking some AP here, so makes sense for an AP pick.
I think they're baiting us. Yep. Gonna be more locked into Ambessa. Ambessa can struggle into that matchup early. The longer the game goes, if she goes even, it gets a little bit easier. If she gets ahead, it's borderline impossible for the Mord to play. So, gonna be interesting to see how DK and Matrix go at it in the top lane as we await the 5th and final pick for OSGA. 5th pick ADC. You don't see it very much.
I love these guys. Everyone should hold the last pick for ADC. New meta.
New meta. It's going to be Zaya locked in. So, honestly, Vayne picked early, but I would say OSGA's response to the Vayne kind of left a little to be desired, picking up 2 more melee carries and then a short range ADC. I don't know. Maybe OSGA is just playing on comfort. But if the Vayne gets ahead, this is very scary. A very scary proposition for OSGA.
Yeah, no, for sure. Vayne can be bullied in lane, but OSGA doesn't necessarily have the best lane bullies. They have more of a safe comp with the Zaya being able to get away. The Rel, obviously, fairly safe, but Vayne's not trying to smash you in lane anyways. It's trying to kill tanks in team fights, and there's a lot of tanks to kill.
Gonna throw up a prediction since we see the draft. We know who's playing, who wins game 1. Rivals on the blue side. That's their blue side draft. OSGA on the red. You guys let us know who you got for this game 1 matchup. I would imagine, of course, this is biased. We do our own power rankings. Rivals power ranked 2nd right now. OSGA dead last. So if you're going strictly off of, we'll say, the name brands and the players behind them, Rivals probably favored heading into this matchup. And I think draft, maybe a little bit Rivals favored as well. Not a ton of range, especially if Jace is melee, but a good damage profile coming out from Rivals. Nice front to back, potential side lane threats. Meanwhile, OSGA, it seems like they just want to meatball, group up, go. Which, if Rivals plays into that, could get scary for them because it could lead to some chain inting. Maybe it might have happened once or twice in the past, but if they stay away from it and play their game, I think Rivals is a good spot.
I am surprised. Despite being blue side, Rivals gets counter pick in both solo lanes.
Yeah.
They also get counter pick in support, so the 3 positions you want counter pick the most in, they got. That's definitely an advantage for Rivals there in this draft, I think. They did pretty well.
Pretty well indeed. We're waiting for the rest of the picks to come through in client, and then we'll throw it to a quick break. I'm going to throw up the stats once again. So these are the stats for these teams you see and we'll be seeing here shortly. Rivals, of course, have been on a hot streak, racking up some stats. OSGA on a cold streak, and with the cold streak comes a lack of good stats, but they are stats nonetheless. Like I said, I think if OSGA gets on top of BK's or Jace, there's where it gets a little bit scary, right? Because then you have like a Mordekaiser, which, I mean, honestly, we really didn't even talk about the Mord, but Mord in an all melee comp has a lot of fun with the AOE. All the damage he gets to do. So I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I think OSG has to get ahead early. Otherwise, really the mid to late probably belongs to rivals.
Yeah, that I agree. I think, having that Galio pick there allowed rivals to pick an AD mid, and then put the AP top laner there, so you still get your AP, but you don't have to play AP into Galio. Maybe they should have held that and picked Zaya first.
If that was gonna be your pick anyways. I don't know. I just it's interesting. The Vayne was picked so early. They doubled down on the melees. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, OSGA at this point is playing to improve. Playoffs is definitely a long shot, but it starts here for them. So we will have to see how they match up against this rival squad in game one. After a quick intermission, we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. It is game 1 here for LXC Sentinel Week 6. Rivals on blue, OSGA on red, and it looks like a little bit of an invade starting to develop for this Rivals team. And I don't know if Matrix knows what is happening. Matrix has to be careful, is going to spot out the invade, so I don't think anything will happen. Looking at the rune sums, you see anything sticking out to you, Husky?
I mean, Vayne with Ghost, not unheard of by any means, but you know, a lot of ADCs choose barrier.
You might have to hold that thought, as Salo might be in a tough situation. Stun goes wide from CB. Looks like everyone should be able to back out. DK is behind here. I don't know if Matrix knows. He's walking into a Mordekaiser. That's an isolated Q. Could be a lot of damage. And right before minions are about to reach wave means Matrix either are going to be late or going to have to blow TP.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a TP. You can't lose the entire first wave, I don't think.
Sorry. I need to get rid of this overlay. It was bugging me. Don't know what was going on with that, but I'm back. We are here. We are live. We are relevant.
Missed a little bit of trading. Nothing too serious yet.
Death Knight trying to trade aggressively into Matrix. Matrix did blow that TP, so if he dies here, this would be incredibly unfortunate for the Mbessa. Death Knight did hit the level 2 before Matrix, so Matrix gonna have to back off. Brissinger just goes down. Blink and he miss it. Salo, reason why he's the #1 mid. Brissinger's gonna have to tighten up, or it's gonna be a long night in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's the 20th solo kill for Mr. Salo. That's #1 in the entire league.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't rack up anymore if you are an OSGA fan. But the game, off to a rough start for Brissinger. Flash was blown as well. The auto, can't flash away from an auto, did follow. So both of these mid lanes flashless now. We'll have to see what kind of jungle presence there's going to be, if any. But other than the mid lane solo kill, kind of off to I wouldn't say a slow start, just standard. I talk about mid lane though. Big Rev is here. The Q goes wide thanks to a E from Salo, but I don't think it'll matter. Should be enough to net the kill, and does. Salo off to the races, 2-0.
Yeah, great gank. Realizing Flash is down, immediately calls for the Amumu. Big Rev shows up and secures the kill.
Death Knight trading aggressive into Matrix, does have to be careful. Sejuani, Odin on the top side of the map. No ward there, so could potentially look for a tower dive. Don't think it's gonna happen though. And
Odin is looking around.
He's looking for the Amumu. He's looking for camps. He's looking for something. But already 1,000 gold lead for this Rivals squad. Couldn't ask for a better start.
Yeah, and I mean, look at in the bot lane. Nice CS lead for BKs so far.
Yeah, trading pretty well on the Vayne. I'm not sure what Odin is doing. He's finally going to find the wolves and make that time valuable. But if there's something that you can't give to Rev, it's tempo. Any wasted time from the enemy jungler means Rev's just going to find an advantage. So we'll have to see. As Death Knight going to be taken extremely low. Matrix, ooh! One more auto would have done it. Unfortunately, did not happen. The stun does come through. Flash from Big Rev. Bandage Toss does land on Novacaine. But an ugly trade from this rival squad. I don't know if the kills are going to come through. Does force the barrier out of Xarxes. Oh! Xarxes just not respecting the tumble from the Vayne. That's a quick double kill for Vayne. What looked pretty sloppy from Rivals was kind of repaid in kind by OSGA, not respecting the third proc damage there.
Yeah, the tumble, the silver bolts. Vayne had everything going right there, and You gotta respect that. That's a big auto that's gonna land.
Death Knight, flashless, has a nice little freeze. Might look to slow push here. Matrix hanging out, but he's down an item component now. But he does have a jungler, so Death Knight gonna face check into Matrix, but Matrix has to be careful as Odin does flash forward. Headbutt comes through. Don't imagine it's gonna be enough damage, and Death Knight absorbing pressure well there.
Yeah, Odin just has kind of hung out top. Hasn't been farming very much here.
He is up on farm though for Big Rev. To his credit, did clear out the top side of Rev. Rev focusing on the objective instead. Matrix does hit 6. I imagine they're gonna have to back here, and with TP coming up soon, maybe he's gonna wait until that cooldown is ready. So
Like Odin is on grubbies.
yeah, nice little neutral trade. OSGA playing well, but CB Big Rev showing in mid means that Odin has to know the rotation is coming through, but it doesn't look like it should matter. I think he has smite as well. Oh no, blue team steals the grub. That's a kill for Death Knight. Death Knight using the ultimate to secure that kill for himself. What that does mean though is for you feats of strength enjoyers, that's that epic that doesn't go OSGA's way. Have to get all 3.
Yeah, Sejuani does not take objectives quickly, especially Hent backed at that point, so didn't have anything.
BK's trading aggressively. CB looking for the stun on Xarxes, forcing the flash. BK's wants to play. He has the lethal tempo stacked up, but with the wave being where it is, don't imagine anything else is going to develop. But Rivals off to the races, already 2,500 gold ahead here, 7.5 minutes into this game.
It's pretty much every position, every lane that is ahead at the moment as well.
As Big Rev does find an Odin Gaming that was unaware. Ultimate going to be used by Big Rev. He knows that this Sejuani doesn't have flash. That's another kill for Salo. 3-0 on this Jace. And it goes from bad to worse for OSGA here. Not in control of their own jungle.
And we can talk about kills, but so far this game has really been about Big Rev.
Ooh, Big Sun comes out from CB, forcing out the ultimate from Xarxes, but Xarxes ulted the other way, which means there's going to be no damage on the pullback for Feathers. BK is looking for the kill on the Novocaine, and it does. That's 3-0 on the Vayne. The stun, ooh, just missing. And CB gonna have to back off with those 2 tower shots.
Looks like we might be looking at a dive right here.
Yeah, Bristinger was trying to suss out the dive, but Salo and Big Rev haven't left the OSGA blue side, forcing out the flash of the Galio. Ooh, big empowered shockwave, shock blast, and that's an easy layup for Salo, who is already 4-0. Matrix biting off more than they can chew, force the flash away. Don't think Death Knight has enough in the tank to actually get the kill. But the damage is done. Matrix probably gonna have to miss this wave. Sticking around might be a little bit greedy. Trying to play on the outside of DK's abilities there, but we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
Yeah, Sejuani is top to help out on a possible dive.
DK does have the ultimate though, so a 2v1 quickly becomes a 1v1. So we'll have to see how OSGA look to play here as Novocaine finds a nice little stun in the 2v1, but no follow-up. And Rivals picking up where they left off last week. 8-0. 1 grub, 1 dragon. I mean, a 4,000 gold lead, 10 minutes in. That's it's a uphill climb for OSGA, to put it lightly.
Yeah, it's hard to complain about anything right now if you're on the side of Rivals.
Stun, or sorry, the taunt doesn't go through. Oh wow, Salo stopping the EOA from the Galio, takes a tower shot, but A tower shot for a kill is definitely a worthy trade in Salo's eyes. The Silda kills are starting to rack up here for the Rivals mid laner.
Yeah, he got that first blood and hasn't looked back.
Death Knight with the W sustain. Looking to be just fine in this lane. I will say, of every lane, the only one that is close to even is this top side. As we look into bot, stun comes through from CB, forcing out the ultimate from Zarsi. Is going to be followed up by the ultimate and engage from Novocaine, but a nice ult from CB means that BK is not in danger, and that's another double kill for Vayne.
Yeah, that was pretty clean Vayne right there.
Ooh,
We
Odin
might need to do that.
looking for a steal, but Big Rev says ain't no way. That's another kill for Salo. 6-0 flash expended by DK on the top side. About the only thing that has gone wrong in this game is DK having to use defensive flashes.
Yeah, we got to tell these guys to slow down in game 2. It's hard to keep up with the commentary. Too many kills.
Oh, nice little steal action from Novocaine, picking up the big chicken. Big Rev. Gonna waddle on out of there. Ultimate does come through from Death Knight. Matrix looking for an escape. Novocaine is waiting in the wings, so Death Knight has to be careful. If the kill isn't picked up, it might get a little dicey. The Q, not enough for the kill, but the bandage toss does stun up Novocaine. Oh no, the kills. Both of them thought the kill was secured. They both back off. Instead, Novocaine and Matrix get out. Cavalry has arrived. Sejuani is here. It has the ultimate available. Big Rev doesn't have flash, doesn't have ult. Looks like Big Rev is going to be the first kill of the game for OSGA. Shutdown going to Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you have to get back in this game. Got numbers.
Salo, buddy, I know you like the solo kills. I feel like it'd be just more gold efficient to pick up the farm that was there instead. I mean, maybe he thinks Galio has a big minion right now. 0-4. Tough Sight says that we see a great use of the flash and stun, forcing out the flash from Zarsi's. BK is trying to get aggressive. Oh no, BK is taking 3 tower shots. Thought he might go down there, but lived with just enough health.
Yeah, Novocaine with a great ult there to save Xerxes.
Big Rev is here. Does have the ultimate available, no flash, so doesn't matter though. The Curse of the Sad Money will hit 2 members. Salo will be sunned up, but there are Void Mites on the table for Rivals. And all 4 members able to back on out of there. Salo going to be sussed out with a nice Q from Brissinger. The damage is done right before Dragon means this should be another Drake for the Rivals squad. And it's looking bleak out here for OSGA early, 14 minutes in.
We knew with this comp you had to get ahead early for OSGA. You couldn't let the Vayne get ahead, surely. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened.
Yep. That Dragon will secure feats of strength for Rivals, as that will be the epic objective picked up. And what's more of a gold lead for OSGA? About 1,000 golds worth of stats going to be picked up by those feats. So if you're Rivals now, you're tempted to play for stat padding. I'd like to just see them end this game cleanly.
Yeah, you have the lead pretty much everywhere. No need to drag this out.
CB matching Novocaine. Matrix was waiting in the wings, but nothing really gonna happen there as Salo looking for another kill. Ooh, flash Q just a little outside.
He wanted it.
He wanted it.
He definitely wanted it.
Use the flash, which I don't think Brissinger's worth that much gold at this point, so it's kind of a major cooldown for Salo to blow. As the TP does come through, BK's doesn't know, but a nice ultimate from CB means I don't think there's going to be enough damage in the tank for Matrix and crew to to actually pick up the Vayne kill. Salo is here. Matrix forced to flash out. The stun from CB just a little bit outside. But meanwhile, Odin Gaming going down. BK's unloading autos into the opposing team. That's a double kill for Rivals. Make that 3 as Vayne will ultimately go down to the tower. A Big Rev using the ultimate to make sure the remaining members of Rivals survive. A messy trade, but a 3-for-1 nonetheless for Rivals.
Yeah, it was a good turn. Vayne kiting backwards until Salo can get there. Like you said, BKs did get caught under the tower, but overall, very good team fight.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some hiccups, but really, it hasn't resulted in much for OSGA. Haven't really been able to find anything in terms of objectives, towers, or the like. And so far, it's been all Rivals all the time. 2 towers going down there.
Yeah, not only are they behind, but their draft didn't have a lot of damage. You saw that last fight started out as a 4v2, and they couldn't finish it quick enough. Rivals was able to get the rest of the team there and turn the fight.
Matrix kind of like the lone threat for Salo and BKs, but I mean, we talked about it before. The melee is going to be having a tough time to deal with the Vayne, except for when Vayne almost goes and kisses him on the mouth. Big Rev is here, will find the bandage toss. Odin Gaming forced to flash out. Zarcy is going to be the sacrificial lamb. The ultimate did come through for Death Knight. That means a dead bird as Zaya goes down. Odin Gaming does go down eventually. The chase is on for Novocaine, CB, and Death Knight using key cooldowns. DK really does want to get another kill in the pocket. Who's it going to go to is the question. And it looks like BK is going to be the one that ultimately picks it up. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Salo did find a tower. Brissinger running the wrong way, running into enemy territory. Doesn't have any mana, and looks like he's just willing to take the death. Stands there and says, I've made a mistake.
He did get a kill right before that, so he was worth a little bit more this time.
Yeah. 22-2 here, 17 minutes and 40 seconds in. It's almost a 10,000 gold lead before 20 minutes. This is the only time that I think we have seen, at least on stream, not Voracious Atacon. What's the other one? The one with the...
Ravenous, I believe.
I think it's going to be Ravenous. Surely. There was like 20 kills before 14 minutes, right?
There is quite a bit of kills.
Surely. I'm going to be real sad if it's the GA one again. It's just so boring.
Yeah.
Novocaine going to be caught out. The jungle isn't yours, Rel. CB and Salo making sure that the presence of Rivals is felt. Another kill to add to the total.
That does put us over a 10k gold lead now.
Yeah. And unless something drastic happens, I only expect the gold lead to grow. Fortunately for Rivals, unfortunate if you're rooting for OSGA to pull off a improbable upset in game 1.
Looks like it's going to be a free dragon for Big Rev here.
Dude, the nice thing about the comeback mechanic this season is that there are so many objectives for you to take that if you're able to get one, you do get a good chunk of gold. As BK just wants to take damage there. That was interesting. Matrix trying to find a flank angle, unable to do so. Mumu, Big Rev, able to soul out the dragon. That's 3 dragons here, 19 minutes and 20 seconds in. That's going to be a soul in about 5 minutes time. Potentially.
I don't know if this game goes 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I think if your Rivals, if the question is soul or Otacon, I think you just go Otacon and try to force an end. We'll see. As CB kind of flirting with danger here, but OSG, we said that they really don't know where these rival members are. Going to be forced out of their own. I mean, it's just tough. Where do you go? What do you do? Husky.
Alright. Yeah.
It is Runis! Let's go!
Let's go. I think you try to look for picks. I mean, that's easier said than done right now. Because even when they found picks, they didn't have the damage to finish them.
Big Rev using the ultimate for the 1v1, the jungle tank v tank matchup. But Big Rev definitely in the driver's seat, and now 2 levels up. Means that Sejuani has to back on out of there. It was a big cooldown used by the Amumu as CB finds a nice stun under the tower. This is just suffocating pressure from the side of Rivals. Like, I know you want to look for picks, but how do you do that when... Well, here you go. Gift wrapped, Big Rev. Making
That's
sure
how
that...
you do it.
Yeah, OSGA gets some gold during this downtime. Interesting decision, but... what I was going to say is, like, how do you do it if Rivals doesn't make mistakes like that? You know, they can't walk into their own jungle. They pretty much lose in every skirmish or team fight right now. And it just seems like the pace of this game has just gone so fast that there really isn't a comeback for OSGA unless A, Rivals does what Big Rev did and just donate some shutdowns under towers, or B, Rivals goes through another snowstorm and everybody's internet shuts off.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rivals even has the better scaling side, so you're not even playing for that at this point.
That's going to be a quick Ruinous Otacon picked up for the side of Rivals. It's going to be a lot of, what are those roses called? What's the actual term? Going to be spawning and picked up.
I'm not sure, actually.
Blood roses? Blood something? It's blood something. Either way.
I just have fun clicking them.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little, like... It's like CS. It's therapeutic. The stun will land on Matrix, but... I don't think... Rivals willing to dive in a Bessa that has the ult available instead. You could say settle for a tower, but this is an almost 12,000 gold lead, 22 minutes in. 3 minutes time, Baron's going to be up. So, I mean, we were talking about, you know, maybe not needing it. As a nice use of the ultimate from Xarxes might mean... Oh, no. The ultimate from CB was just outside Salo's range, so Salo does go down, but that's a double kill for BKs. That's a kill for Death Knight. Make that 3 for the Vayne, and that might just be game. 23 minutes in.
Yeah, pretty long cooldowns, and Bessa is still up, but I don't think she can defend against 4.
Yeah. Even if there was more members of OSGA, I don't know what you could do, as a nice bandage toss means that the mobile champ is mobile no more. That's yet another kill for Rivals. 28 kills in 23 minutes. Might be a Sentinel record. I don't know, as another stun does come through. Big Ref saying, hey, make sure we kill this tower. Xarxes gonna go down. And a kill might come through for OSGA. Big Rev does ultimately fall, but BK's hitting the Nexus. That's game 1 convincingly for the side of Rivals.
It does not get much easier than that in a game 1.
Yeah. We knew it was going to be tough going potentially for OSGA. I mean, I talked about it before we loaded in. It was a questionable draft. I really think they didn't do themselves any favors with the draft that they approached with that early pick Vayne. Gonna have to go to the drawing board for game 2, but after you lose like that, is there any hope for a game 3 here, Husky?
There's always hope. I mean, you got to throw your entire draft decisions in the trash. You know, we were just practicing that time, trying something fancy, but it didn't look good. So don't pick a single one of those champs. And
single one. The Matrix and Bessa looked okay, forcing out the flash of DK a couple times. That was like the lone bright spot, you could say. Maybe. All right. Maybe run it back on the Matrix train.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And Bessa wasn't doing too poorly, but I mean, not a lot of damage anywhere for OSGA. Lots of damage on the other side from Rivals. And I mean, OSGA didn't draft a lot of damage either, but you got to get ahead if you're going to go all tanks, and they did not do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rough first game, for sure. On the other side, Rivals, very good first game. maybe we want to give BK's Vayne a little bit more often. I don't know about picking it that early.
The early decision was kind of questionable. Maybe they're trying something out against an opponent that has been struggling recently. Who knows? But we'll have to see what the plan is here. As it looks like, I'm assuming OSGA is going red side as they are lined up in that position. I'm gonna copy this, and then hopefully they don't say, actually, we go blue. Yeah, I don't know. Good showing from Rivals. I mean, a little bit of gold thrown OSG's way, but when you're throwing away like 300, 400, in some cases with the shutdown, 5 or 6, and picking up like 2,000 at a time, I think it's all right.
Yeah, no, definitely look good all across the board. I really liked what I saw from Big Rev early on. At one point in the first 6 kills, right? He got 5 assists and started every single one of them with a bandage toss. So
Yeah.
very proactive, lots of ganks, getting all of his laners ahead, and once you get some of these guys ahead, they'll take care of the rest for you.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off that comment, Big Rev with the nice punish. Could have easily just said, hey, I want to get the scuttle for myself instead. Knew that the flash from Brissinger was down early, so netted Salo another kill. And then, Salo kind of took that and went off to the races. I just, yeah, I mean, it was a really, really, really good showing for Rivals. Some might say as expected, but I don't know if you could fathom or suggest it would be that dominant. So we'll have to see how this game 2 goes. I'm expecting a little bit more fight from OSGA. I really like to see them just pick as comfort as they can. Comp be damned, and really just put your best foot forward and look to contend here with one of the stronger teams in Sentinel. We'll have to see as we await draft for game 2.
Yeah, that you need comfort for sure. I think you need a better draft as well. Certainly, being the last team in the league is not going to be very easy going against the team tied for first. But at the same time, you do need a draft that makes sense, and we knew that there was going to be an uphill battle with that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see how OSGA adjusts. The nice thing about best of 3s is it's not over after the first one, so we could see a crazy response come out from OSGA. We will see.
Yeah, maybe play that MF that you guys were hovering. Big MF enjoyer over here. That could have made the difference right there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sure, dude. I don't know. I mean, the way the game went, a lot of stuff might have needed to change. Who knows? I hope OSG is having fun. Matrix asking me how he can get the number 10 spot back in the power rankings. So Spirits seem okay, at least for some. Yeah.
He looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did. Nice in lane. This is a team. You didn't really talk about this before game 1. This is a team that took TFF. They lost 2-0 to TFF, but they basically took them down to like one game-deciding team fight late in the game. Both of those games, and if it went OSGA's way, it might have been a win for them. So I was really excited to see if they had improved. Wasn't seeing a lot of the same successes that I saw in that stream match, so we'll have to see if they can recapture some of that mojo as we get into draft here for game 2. Aurora gonna be banned away by Rivals. Quick, do you have the bans handy from last game?
I don't know, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm wondering, I think it was Aurora, Ashe, Yone for Rivals, and it was Nyla, Katarina, and Garen for OSGA. So we'll have to
Yeah,
see
I
if
believe that's right.
we'll have to see if there's any adaptations from either of these teams. If your rivals, I don't think you have to change much from what you just showed in game one. But maybe they want to experiment a little bit more and try some new picks. We'll see. The Vayne was new. The Jace was new.
Yeah, definitely don't have to change too much at the same time. You don't want to run back the exact same team. That's not as fun to play. The Tarek gonna switch it up. Banned that this time.
Yeah. Same. Actually, no. Adaptation. Mumu banned away from OSGA while Rivals on blue. I think that's Big Rose saying, "Don't pick me that champion. B1 twice in a row." So we'll have to see what the new strategy is here for Rivals.
He looked pretty good on it though. I mean,
Yeah, Big Rev. Every time he picks that champ, I think he looks extremely good. But it's not flashy. It's not, it's like a, pick me if you want to win, but I'm here to have fun kind of thing.
hey, winning is fun.
Yeah, true. I'd much rather not have fun and win than not have fun and lose, because you can't have fun when you lose. I'm just kidding. You can. I'm just kidding. As Sejuani going to be locked for B1, so he went from a Mumu to Sej. I don't know if that's an upgrade or a kind of a side
So a
step.
little bit more skill expression on that champ, I guess. A little bit.
Maybe. OSGA locking in the Nautilus. Nautilus blind. If you ask CB, that's like one of the worst picks. I don't know why. I think Nautilus blind is fine. So we'll have to see how CB punishes, because he's convinced you can punish it hard.
He loves Millia into it. I have seen it about 100 times in scrims. I don't know if he's going to run it here, but that's what he likes to run.
Nautilus picked up Volibear as well. Volibear, of course, could be flex, could get some boss in the top lane. I imagine it's going to be Odin taking that in the jungle. We'll have to see. But once again, doubling down on some good engage. Kind of a different variation of what we saw in the game 1 draft, but kind of the same so far. Swain locked in for Rivals. They're saying, hey, that all melee comp that you pick it again, please. I dare you.
Yeah, Swain and another good champ into short range, especially when he gets ulting. You can't do anything unless you're standing pretty far away from him.
So yeah, a nice 1-2 combo for Rivals there. Not the melee that you like to see paired with the Sedge, but kind of a good combo nonetheless, as Rel is going to be the answer for CB into that Nautilus. And this might be both sides waiting till 4-5 to pick their ADC, so I expect a handful of them to come out here in the second phase of bans as Matrix gets his hand on Mbessa once again.
Okay, that was their brightest spot last draft, so makes sense. He did pretty well on it. Let's run it back.
Looked pretty well. Katarina going to be banned away, so I guess they think it's Swain top, or they just want to make sure that the flex can't happen. I'm not too sure, but Katarina banned away from Salo. Jinx going to stay consistent between these two drafts, it looks like, and is banned by Rivals. I really thought that OSGA would try to pinch the BK's pool a little bit with the 2 bans that they did have. Opted not to do so. Maybe they're looking for a trade in ADs. OSGA, I mean, do you think that they give R5 to ADC again and make their mid-blind pick?
Surely they don't do that. I would love them for it, but there's almost no way that you should do that.
All right. So they really think that's a Swain top. LeBlanc going to be banned away. So Katarina LeBlanc on
APC.
2. Yeah, I guess it could go bot. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. Varus going to be the same bans as last time. So Varus, Jinx banned once again by Rivals as we wait the R4 pick from OSGA.
There's the Caitlyn. Okay.
All right, so Caitlyn locked. kind of a nice pickup if we do think it is Swain bot. Swain doesn't have the most range to deal with something like the Caitlyn.
I don't think it's Swain bot, but it could be. I just don't think it is.
Definitely could. I think we'll have a clearer picture here as Rivals gonna have to lock in the rest of their comp. Vi locked and loaded. Yasuo locked as well. Okay, this is not a Rivals draft I am accustomed to seeing.
You said we would have answers, and I'm still asking a lot of questions at this point.
So it could be Sedge top. I do know if you're a Los Ratones enjoyer, the best counter that Boss prefers is Lethality Crit Vi top lane. Don't know if that's what DK is going to pull out here, if he's digging deep into the bag, but we'll have to see. Is Vex, actually a really nice pickup by OSGA for what Rivals is showing. You got 4 champions that are dashing. So going to be able to pick up a lot of those passive procs and make use of them.
Hear me out here. We got Sejuani Yasuo bot lane. The Sejuani Q can for the knockups.
What, you think is Rel top or something?
Rel jungle. We're gonna bring it back.
Rel jungle's so bad. Rel jungle is so bad. Apologize, I didn't update the score, and then I updated it to the wrong person. It is not 1-0 OSGA, it is 1-0 Rivals.
I'm pretty sure that if we were down 1-0 and they drafted this, that you would probably make me solo cast this, get in and yell at them.
Maybe. I mean, like, so a little bit of concern from Rivals comp, like we had with OSGA's last game, is there actually is no range this time around. Outside of the Swain. On the flip side, though, if Rivals gets ahead like they did in game 1, it's going to be real tough sledding for OSGA to ever approach, even with the Vex counterpick. So we'll have to see if OSGA can fare a little bit better in lane and make this game closer when that laning phase ends. Then I think we might have a ball game on our hands.
Counterpoint to this, if Rivals gets ahead, Yasuo might not ever hit his O10 power spike.
That's true. Maybe the plan is just to feed Yasuo. By feed, I mean let him die on a side lane over and over. I don't know. OSGA, kind of like a more standard comp you would see, of course. Definitely think it's going to be that Volibear in the jungle. And if you're looking at their comp, lots of lockdown coming through from those first 3 picks on the screen. Some nice kiting going to be enabled by the Vex. Brissinger, of course, had a pretty rough game 1. Expect him to bounce back here in game 2. As I mean, we see the matchups. Might as well throw out the prediction right now. Looking at these drafts, who you got, Husky?
If I was looking at just the drafts, OSGA. Knowing who's piloting all the champs, I'm gonna have to go with the hometown guys and put it all on Rivals.
Fair enough. That's some caster bias if I've ever heard it. Just kidding. As I'm pulling up the in-game client. Looks like it could be a potential Sejuani top. I do enjoy myself some bear pig in the top lane. Whatever that is. A boar. It's pretty much a bear pig.
Sounds... that's not the nicest thing to say about a Freljordian queen.
No, whatever his name is, Bristleback.
Oh, okay.
Is Sejuani queen? I thought that was Ashe or Lysandra.
It is contested between the 3 of them, although I am personally biased towards the Ashe.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Checks out. I don't know what the rules are in LXC. I imagine it's going to be Sejuani top, Vi jungle, Yasuo mid, Swain bot with Rel. Swain Rel means that Nautilus has to really choose his engages wisely. Because once he goes in, Nautilus suffers from that Vi syndrome, where once you go in, it's really hard to get out. It's kind of even more so when you're looking at the Rel and Swain across from you. But there you have it. That was game 2 draft. That means after draft, of course, comes the gameplay. We will see you all after a quick break. We'll be back on the Rift. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of this best of 3 between Rivals and OSGA. OSG Avalanche's CB going to be caught out by a nice Novocaine hook, forced to start the W. So no further damage caused by that invade. OSGA with some nice vision, going to be pinged out by Rivals. And then everybody backs away.
Not the best start for CB having to take W, but at the same time, doesn't have to burn flash, so that is a big win.
Saylo going to be walking right into Matrix and Brissinger. Death Knight is here, but they have to realize that, oh, okay, we see the flash from Novocaine, flashed away nicely by Saylo. Interesting that they stuck around with no vision of their own to potentially be alert to the fact that all members of OSGA were caught up top. So it's going to be Saylo having to burn both summoner spells here a minute and a half into the game. But I think other than that, everything's all right. It's a nice flash W forward, forces out the flash from Xarxes. Interesting that Xarxes flashed there because this is a Swain. And I don't think there's enough damage in the tank between Rel Swain early to actually pick up a kill there. Q does come forward and land from Novocaine. BK's takes the isolated Q damage from the Caitlyn as well. So OSG, nice little start for them here in game 2. As the Q does come forward and land again, once again on BK's. BK is holding the flash for another day as Saylo doing his best in the counter pick matchup. We talked about how the flash isn't available for him, so it's of the utmost importance he doesn't die. Otherwise, Brissinger will have a nice little lead. Oof.
That's quite a chunk from Brissinger right there.
It is. No pots available for Saylo either. So he's going to have to play a little bit safe here. Does hit level 3, so it might help with the trades. Can block out that Q. As a nice little trade does come through from Death Knight. But that'll be it. Matrix, I don't know if, did he do Grasp last game? I thought he went Conk.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
As Saylo taking extremely low, but Big Rev is on the hunt. But Death Knight looks like he engaged a little bit too fast. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, but that's First Blood going over to Matrix. Of course, New League of Legends, First Blood doesn't really matter too much. So the fact that Rivals was able to go even there kind of saves the play.
Yeah, I mean, 1-for-1, and you did take the tempo from Big Rev there to get that, so that is a positive for OSGA.
Yep. OSGA off to a way better start than they were game 2. I think at this time last game, Saylo was already 2-0 on the Jays, so positives, building improvement, if you will, as a nice E does come forward, will stun up Xarxes. Xarxes, of course, burned that flash earlier, and BK has the flash available. That's going to be a Caitlyn going down. Novocaine going to be the next on the chopping block. The E does come forward and land. A nice Q from Novocaine, but CB says, I'll have none of that. Gets the stun, and that's Feet of Warfare just like that.
Yeah, that goes back to what you said earlier. If he had that flash, I think Caitlyn can kite back a little bit better and win that trade, actually.
Yeah, Odin Gaming going to be caught out by that ward. Nice placement from Death Knight. I didn't realize Death Knight actually opted not to take Flash or Ghost. Instead, you see the spicy TP Ignite to try to do a little bit better in this laning phase. I will take the time here. Oh, well, hold on. We might have a fight developing in the top lane. Looks like DK gonna kite on back. So he's chunked OSGA, or sorry, OSGA. Novocaine is up here on the top side as well, so Death Knight will have to be careful. Looks like a dive might be developing. Said OSG's gonna back on out. I did want to take this time to announce the name and date for the 2v2 tournament here in March. It's going to be the Shamrock Showdown. is
Ooh,
what
okay.
CB kicked up. So on the bottom of the screen there, March 14th is when you can look forward to that. If you're interested, we usually do a 5v5 clash type of thing. This will be our first foray in the 2v2. I think the goal is gonna be ARAMs. ARAM map anyways, so we'll see. Gonna fine tune, iron out the details, but definitely happening on March 14th. We hope you are there. Nice fear from Brissinger means Sailor takes about a quarter of their HP in damage. This is not a fun matchup for Yone. Or for Yone.
Yeah,
it isn't a fun matchup for Yone either. But it's definitely not fun for Yasuo. Red team, OSGA picking up the Void Grubs. Got all 3 this time. So once again, improvement. Salo has to know that Novocaine has not been on the map for quite some time. Novocaine does show Salo doing the correct thing, pathing towards his teammates. Death Knight getting the better of Matrix here. Matrix going to have to use the ultimate. Odin Gaming is here. Flash from Matrix means that this Mbessa won't go down, but Death Knight trying to look for the outplay instead. Plays it safe, going to back off. Odin helping his top laner push in the wave a little bit. I was going to say crash, but they didn't do that. So good on DK there, absorbing pressure.
Yeah, certainly a much closer start to this game.
Yeah, not an insurmountable lead here. 7.5 minutes in, it is only about a 500 gold lead. I say that, but Novocaine is caught out by CB and Big Rev. Not enough damage to the tank, does force out Novocaine's flash.
Looks like they're setting up a dive here.
Yeah, Salo is waiting in the wings. No knock-up yet because Rill doesn't have the ult, but a nice Q on Novocaine means that is Nautilus going down, and Xerxes in quick succession does net the shutdown, though. 2 for 1 at the end of the day, but the damage is done. Xerxes is going to miss out this entire wave. But already has a nice CS lead into BKs here.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to feel pretty good. You haven't had to support this entire time and you're still up CS.
Yeah. Not a favorable ranged matchup for BKs. BKs does get the Malignance as well. One of the cheaper items you can go. So 4-1 on Swain. I think he doesn't really carry his 9 CS down. And the Swain could get scary very quickly the more we see these objective fights take place. Okay, Death Knight. Adaptation. Okay. Said, give me the Sejuani. Looks like he's having a much better time into this matchup. As Salo, trading aggressively on a Brissinger, does have the ultimate available. Flash used. A nice sidestep from Brissinger on the Vex means that Salo might have to back off. Gets feared. Doesn't know that Odin Gaming is here. The ultimate does come through from Salo and some... Oh, he went back in. Interesting choice. That does mean Salo goes down, but Big Rev and CB are here to respond. Oh! That was a nasty fear. Odin out.
Yeah, Brissinger looking significantly better on this Vex than he was on the Galio.
Wasn't blinded this time. Actually got the counter. Seems like that's a good thing for a solo laner.
I've never played solo lane, but I hear them talk about that quite a bit.
Yeah. So some nice draft adaptations, some gameplay adaptations for both these sides. A lot closer of a game here in game 2. Looking forward to a potential banger. E just a little short. Xerxes gonna be able to safely farm under this tower for a little bit, as Death Knight won't be able to find Matrix. Salo. I mean, I think if you're Salo, you want this laning phase to be over ASAP, as BKs has to be very careful. Novocaine is here. His support is in mid. The kill ultimately doesn't come through. Brissinger able to survive with a nice fear once again. Swain did get out. Didn't have to burn the flash either. Does have the TP, so no harm, no foul for BK. It's looked a little dicey there.
Yeah, Novocaine with a lot of roams didn't have the ult available because he's 5.
Odin unaware that 3 members of Rivals have already started up the grubs, and that is a quick death for the Volley Bear.
Novocaine just hit 6, by the way, off that wave, so does have ult. CB still level 5 on the rel.
Yep, is here though, so killing the Swain gets a lot harder when Swain does have the ultimate available. A nice slow from BK's, but no follow-up from CB. Q does come through from Novocaine. CB takes quite a bit of damage. The stun does land on his RCs, but no follow-up from BK's means RC is going to be able to free hit onto CB. BK's instead turns his attention onto Novocaine, the support. Oh, not quite enough damage to get the kill. Does get the E though, forcing the barrier out from Zarcies, but Odin Gaming is here. The bear is angry. A nice ultimate from CB actually displaces the bear. And so at the end of the day, nobody goes down. Lots of cooldowns and summoner spells used, but no kills.
Yeah, Ace in the Hole was unavailable for Xerxes in the middle of that fight. It just came off cooldown. Might have been able to get a kill if it was available earlier.
Yeah, I think they were pretty low on damage too. I think it's what, 100 mana to cost that ultimate, so wouldn't have been available anyways. Brissinger using the fear proc, hitting no one. The Q comes through. That's going to be a kill for this Rivals lane as Salo goes on a ride. Going to donate the kill to Big Rev instead. Dragon is up. That's a pick for Rivals. And Ultimate's going to be coming off cooldowns here shortly for the Rivals squad. I was going to say for the men in purple, but OSGA I think is purple as well, so that doesn't really count. But let's talk about a solo bolo. Matrix with a nice kill on the top lane. Death Knight does go down. BK's does find the E. Dodges out the Q from Novocaine, so that should be Dragon number 2 secured for Rivals. Doing the dragon stacking thing and doing it nicely.
Yeah, Matrix looking good 2 games in a row on the Embesso. Might warrant a ban if this was to go to 3 games.
You're calling it? OSGA wins this one?
I am not calling it.
Ooh, a nice E from BK's means that Zarcy is going to be forced to flash out and doesn't go down. But this is a lot of pressure by the Rivals bottom lane. Pink's coming out saying, hey, Vex could come down there. But even if Vex did, I don't know if there's enough in the tank to kill these bulky members. I don't know if you guys saw that. The fear. So Salo queued to try to get the cannon minion. The fear makes it so, like, if you're playing like Yone or Yasuo, the Q doesn't do anything. I've never understood it. I feel like if the animation goes through, you should at least get the damage. But it just takes your cooldown. I don't know. Anyways, feats of warfare. Or for feats of warfare. Feats of strength gonna go Rivals' way. BK's doesn't have the ultimate available. CB might be worse for wear. It does ultimately go down. Zarcies does have the ultimate available. And uses it. Doesn't pick up the kill. Feats of strength.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, feats of strength for CB. Is it worth? I don't know. Not too sure. Either way, it's only about 1,500 gold lead for Rivals here at this point. I think last game at this point, they might have been bid close to 9k, 8k. So OSGA putting up a nice fight here.
Yeah, they're pretty solidly ahead in the top lane. Mid lane is pretty close as well.
Yeah. CB gonna be able to find out Novocaine. So lots of members on the top side of this map for both of these teams. BK's has to be careful. Does do the correct pathing, backs on up. CB looking for a kill on a Matrix, does find the stun, which means A nice passive proc will come from Death Knight as well, but these are two beef boys trying to kill the Matrix and Bessa. Q is landed on to CB the Barbarian. A Q from Rev to try to get his team out of dodge, but that's a shutdown for Matrix. 3-1-0 on the Bessa here.
Yeah, much easier to work with comp here with that Caitlyn standing behind everyone.
A nice Q from Novacan does find out CB, but Novacan almost goes down to the tower procs. Death Knight getting auto-spaced nicely by Xarxes, does find the headbutt and a Heartsteel proc. Brissinger, you have no mana. Gonna have to back on out of there. Ultimate was used by Salo. At the end of the day, it's gonna be Rift Herald going OSGA's way. I say that, but who knows? Rivals might want to contest anyways. Doesn't look like it. Vi pathing on down towards the bot side. And Matrix.
Ooh, okay.
Looking very nice. Tier 2 does go down for Rivals though. That's a good chunk of gold. So gold lead now sits at about 1.5. I expect that to shrink with the Herald going to be used potentially mid. At some point, an outer from Rivals is going to go down. It's just a matter of which one.
Mid makes a lot of sense. Top could go down without it. Matrix has been winning that fight. But it looks like OSGA will be calling all the troops towards the drag with that coming up soon. They are down 2 drags to none.
They are down 2 drags. Matrix gonna be asked to do a lot in this fight. Salo has a TP available but isn't here, so River Prio goes OSGA's way. Rivals gonna be forced to back off. Rivals definitely the definition of a shotgun comp. You kind of want to group up and blow your load, for a crass way of explaining it. Make sure that the kills go through, but hard to do when not all members are there. Instead, Rivals playing it smart. They know the dragon's not even up, so this is going to be a free tower going down for Rivals. Some max pressure. Mid prio secured as well, but the dragon has been started up. Rivals has plenty of drakes to give, so that might just be the call. Let's say they'll do this thing on the side lane, but a nice Q from Novacan means that the fight has started and just as quickly has ended.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a give for Rivals.
Yeah, I mean, no response now from OSGA. There comes the TP. Vex going to make their way on up. So that's a cooldown used, though. TP from Swain just to keep the prio in mid, but Odin gonna be ulted on by Big Rev, but I don't think he knew Matrix was here. A nice flash from CB. Gonna find both members with the ultimate. Odin gonna go down. PKs is here, does have the ultimate available. Matrix is the next on the chopping block. Gonna be chased down by Death Knight and CB. I imagine the kill is gonna get donated to the Swain. No, Death Knight looks like they're gonna be able to pick that one up. A shutdown for the Man Bear Pig in Sejuani. Xarxes has already used the flash. Stun does come through. Salo is here, but a nice fear from Brissinger means Xarxes will live to auto another day.
Xarxes did have to burn the flash to live, though, so Kate going to be pretty easy to get to in the next fight.
Yep. Oh, W dodged nicely there by Xarxes. Update on the Swain stacking. If you click on him, what does it say? What's his passive at?
390.
Wow. That's a good chunk of health picked up by BKs. I'm asking because you're looking at the side of OSGA. Caitlyn not really known as a conventional tank shredder. Mbessa can do that, but then you're going to be asked to be shedding through either BKs or Sejuani on Death Knight. So the longer this game goes, even though Rivals has drafted not your conventionally scaling comp. I think it stacks kind of nicely to what OSGA has presented. And Rivals, I mean, it's been a quiet gold lead. Kills wouldn't really tell you the whole story, but the gold, already about 3,000 for Rivals here, 20 minutes in.
Yeah, Swain, pretty good late game champ. Same with Yasuo. As you mentioned, pretty beefy, without a lot to be able to take care of that.
So RC is using the trap net, whatever it is, to dodge out some danger, but couldn't dodge out that one. A nice Q from CB means that the ultimate does miss Zarcy's. A stun does come through, so Zarcy's does take a chunk of damage, but now TPs are coming down. Matrix in the middle of all four members of Rivals. Matrix goes down, and Novocaine goes down. Vex goes for a ride, does get a nice fear. Odin Gaming with a nice ultimate over the top means at the end of the day, OSGA does find some kills, but 2 members to 1. Brissinger forced to flash, does have the fear available, only finds BKs. And ultimate from Salo. Is there enough damage? There is. Salo to get out. That's an ace. 5 for 3.
Yeah, it looked pretty good from OSGA, but unfortunately everyone kept going in. Well, there's a Swain ulting right there, and
Yeah.
you don't want to dive into a Swain in the middle of his ult.
And I don't know if this is considered a caster curse because I said it so long ago. I said with that Rift Herald, a outer would go down. It did not happen. So if you want to say I cursed them, you could say so, but that would be like the most of a gap I've ever seen for a caster curse.
Yeah, if I'm OSGA, I'm definitely blaming you on that one.
Fair enough. Well, Oshi with a nice fight, but at the end of the day, it's Rivals that comes out on top, does knock down that last outer. 4 towers to 0. 2 Drakes to 1, trading the grub, so no Void Mites. That's where you're going to see most of the gold lead, other than basically the CS differential in mid, which came because Rivals said, okay, we'll just sack this Drake. Eventually, you guys are going to have to respawn top. They got a tower and a bunch of gold out of it as a nice flash engage from CB. I mean, Zarcy's doesn't really have anything to respond with. The ult does come out from Brissinger. Would be crazy to follow it. BK's now doesn't have the ultimate, so this is a window for OSGA to potentially fight, even though that their AD carry is down. But Rivals with a nice pick. I think that's the second time that they've gotten a 1 for none before Dragon spawned.
Yeah, they've been very good at getting that, securing dragons. Xarxie's going to have a rough time of it when Flash is not up this game.
Yep. Anytime you're an ADC and you see a buy, you have to know the cease and desist will be probably going your way.
Yeah, I mean, the Vi, the Sejuani, the Rel, the Yasuo. You got a lot of people trying to dive on you.
Which is why I like that Vex pick so much, but outside of lane, Brissinger hasn't really been able to make, I wouldn't say the pick work. I say this as a flash forward from Salo, but a nice stun from Odin means that the ultimate couldn't be followed through. Salo doing their darndest to try to get this kill, forcing out the ultimate from Oshi Novocaine. Wow.
Oh,
That's about as much damage as you can do without picking up a kill as I've ever seen.
it was a 3v1 and he almost killed 2 people, but almost doesn't count.
Zarcy's with a nice net away. Death Knight has to be careful. Not a lot of mana left for him. Looks like the prize for Rivals is this outer tier 2 in mid. We'll have to see if they're able to eventually knock that down. And it's, you know, we keep saying it's been a way closer of a game than game 1. I mean, game 1 was just so wildly out of control that, like, it feels close, but Rivals is still sitting comfortably with a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they have the better scaling comp and they're up 4K at 25 minutes. It's still a sizable lead.
So we'll say OSGA has an uphill battle to climb. Since starting 3-1, Matrix has gone 2-4 since. By 2-4, I mean 2 deaths, 4 assists. So Salo, this will be the second time he gets caught on the side.
Yeah, he almost won a 3v1. Let's try a 2v1.
Oh, he takes it. But I don't think this is an ult that Salo really should have followed. Big Rev and BKs are on the way. A nice flash Q means that some distance has been made for Salo. Salo ultimately goes down, but I think this is going to be a win fight for Rivals. Matrix into the fray with a nice TP. A nice fear means Big Rev has to back off. Novocaine finds the ultimate, but Novocaine will go down. Matrix doing their best on the Mbessa, but BK is dominating 10-1-6 on this Swain. And yeah, the extended fight, it just feels like there's not enough for OSGA to really make a fight that will last more than like a minute work.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn definitely not an ADC that does well in extended fights, and you can see it.
Yeah, but not only that, like you're looking at the damage profile from the two solos, lots of burst. I mean, Volibear likes to have his cooldowns available, which is why you see the flicker blades there. But Swain, you hit R once, and as long as you're standing next to somebody, you're going to be doing damage for pretty much the entirety of the fight, which we saw. Otacon, another Ruinous, back-to-back Ruinous Otacons. Somebody's birthday out there. Don't know who, but they're watching this stream. 2 Ruinouses for you.
Mine's next week, so we'll see what happens then.
Early birthday present. 2 Ruinous Otacons. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about how close it was. Now you look at the gold lead, has gone to about 5,000 for Rivals. The scaling is there. You know, 2, 3, and 4 on the Yasuo. The Yasuo has had trouble when trying to fight with the Nautilus, the Vex, the Volibear, but still does a ton of damage. Swain, of course, doing a ton of damage as well. So much lockdown in CC, it's hard for Caitlyn to navigate these fights. And if you're OSGA, I think you have to look for a pick, kind of how Rivals has been doing before the Dragons, to kind of turn the tides of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to kill the Swain unless you get him in like a 3v1.
I thought I might have just spoke something into existence, but DK does get out. Salo knows that nobody around for OSGA. Brissinger with a nice fear and flash, but Xarxes has been rooted in the mid lane, and oh my gosh, Xarxes didn't get to play.
He had flash up. You can't let that happen.
You gotta flash the E, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to flash again until the next time you're up. Xarxes goes down. The tier 2 goes down with them, and once again, another pick before Dragon. Oh, a Q does land, but it's BK's. And BK's is playing Swain. So much damage coming through the Swain ultimate. A nice Q will find Novocaine. Novocaine does go down. Odin Gaming is the next target. Does flash out, but Death Knight is here. Death Knight with a nice ultimate on Matrix. Matrix goes down. Odin goes down. Brissinger, the last man standing. A nice Zonia is going to delay the inevitable. BK's godlike 11-1-10 on the Swain. Xarxes is back up. The rest of the team is currently in the graveyard. Xarxes is going to have to pull out the hero plays to extend this game. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Forced to flash away. Rivals took a little bit longer than game 1, but does find the win in game 2. Xarxes going to do all they can to make sure that that doesn't happen, but will go down. Novocaine to Boots. The E does land. Yep, that's a dead Nautilus. And that is game 2 Rivals securing the sweep.
Or is it?
Well, I think they're trying to pad some stats here. All right, they get the kills. Surely they end the game. There you go. game 2. Yeah, I mean, a stomp in game 1, slow and steady in game 2. Rivals looking uh, in top form here in the late half of the season, the last half of the season. Good stuff from Rivals. OSGA, of course. We knew it was going to be I mean, if they won, it would have been an upset. Didn't happen for them, unfortunately. I think there's stuff for you to build upon, though. Matrix looked pretty nice in lane. The Imbecile looked pretty good. Other than that, it was tough sledding. Tough sledding.
Yeah. First game, definitely I think that there was a big draft problem from OSGA. Second game, not so much. They had a decent team, just unable to actually execute. Yeah, the boys look good this week.
Yep. They have gained momentum. Looked really good against Plasma Wolves. Looked equally as good against Avalanche, especially with I don't know if it's a 4-fun comp, but definitely an exotic comp we're not used to seeing Rivals pick. It looks like people are clamoring for BK to get into the post-game presser, the interview. So we'll have to see if BK is willing to do that. BK says no one wants him, so I don't know. We are here. You guys know where we are. So if you want this interview to happen, send somebody. But other than that, I mean, yeah, hats off to Rivals. Looked really clean. We appreciate OSGA delaying the stream a little bit and showing up, giving their best effort. Unfortunately, not enough to secure dub, but some good stuff to build on, I would say.
Yeah, looks like we do have a guest coming on. Not what everyone is asking for in chat, but nevertheless, one of our 5 favorite players on the team.
Not BK's, instead DK's Death Knight. Were you our interview last week as well, or was it CB?
Yeah, I guess I was dragged in here. No, it was CB last time. Then I did it.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Either way, we're happy to have you.
Uh,
Coming into this match, I would say Rival's a heavy favorite. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys were expecting from OSGA. What were your thoughts heading into the match? What you were trying to accomplish, and were you able to do so this week?
Ultimately, I would just say, to your point, we came into the match pretty confident. And just not being afraid to put the gas on the pedal, the foot on the pedal, whatever. Just because we knew we were going to be strong and just not being afraid to fight and pick fights and play confident. So that's really it, that we weren't super concerned about this matchup. Shout out to Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably the brightest spot for their team. We heard him earlier. He was asking to try to get his number 10 spot back. What do you think? Is he a top 10 top laner?
Yeah, no, he's definitely, kind of weird you first pick him best of both games. Like, I feel like they were able to give us blue side and give us counter pick into kind of every lane for some reason. But, definitely better than certain top laners in the top 5. Yeah, I was pretty surprised. I would say he's a lot better than UB, to be honest. I
Okay.
don't really think he's super special. I think he has 1 or 2, honestly, maybe even 1 champ, but even in that, it was pretty situational. I don't know. Yeah, I think I think Diet Coke's a looker. I would say complex. I know he is top 1 right now. Granted, I would just say they haven't really played versus anybody good, but that's just my hot take, I guess.
There you go. Hot takes from DK himself. You know me and CB, we're kind of on the same wavelength when it comes to drafts. Tell me a little bit about that game 2 draft. Was it something you've been cooking, or was it just?
No, not really. We just went in just trying to have fun second game, to be honest. No BM. Game 1 was pretty convincing, to say the least. So we were just trying to do something a little different. I literally played Sedge top. Like I don't. We were just hanging out at that time. We're just trying to have fun. So at the end of the day, I mean, like the team's players weren't honestly bad. I just feel like the team has a whole like a big opportunity in the macro game. We just feel like that they at times didn't really know what to do. I feel like they overforced a lot of ganks. We kind of capitalized and just played the chess game. That's really it.
Yeah. Good insights from DK. Husky, got another one?
I just want to say congratulations. You guys look good. Look good up top there. I know we were talking about some power rankings earlier. Just wanted to let you know you're top 2 top laner in my book, and you ain't number 2, man.
There you go.
Hey, we'll see.
Last question for you, DK. We got 2 weeks left in the season. Or sorry, make that 1 week. No. I'm right. It's 2. Coming up next, you got TD Blust. Kind of them and TFF, tougher opponents back to back. TFF right outside, tied for first. CDB tied with you guys. Looking ahead, I mean, how confident are you in Rivals able to at least tie for that first seed?
Yeah, I think we'll win it out. To be honest, even just looking at the stream games with like TFF. I mean, this is just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really reflect anybody else on the team, but it just seemed like I'm seeing a lot of solo queue games, a lot of solo queue champs. Like, I feel like teams honestly don't know how to draft very well, so we just play our game, do what we do. It's stick to the playbook, and I think we'll be okay.
All right, well, you heard it there from Death Knight joining us after a convincing 2-0 victory against OSGA. Death Knight, anything you want to shout out, let people know before we let you go?
Shout out to BK. I think he had a really good series. I think he's a sleeper OP. Everybody's kind of sleeping on him, but yeah, nothing crazy. There's a lot of good players in this league, a lot of good top laners. At the end of the day, I think everybody likes talking crap and banter. I just want everybody to know it is all for fun. That's kind of half the fun. Don't take it to heart. That's really it. So, GG's to everyone's. We look forward to playing everybody else.
There you go. That was Death Knight joining us after that 2-0 victory. 2-0 victory. Thank you so much for joining. We hope you have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the win. Husky, it was fun. Good having you back. I don't think you're going to be here for the next couple weeks, so you'll miss out the rest of the regular season. Any bold predictions for you from what you've seen so far here for Rivals?
Yeah, I think we win out the rest of the season and, end up tied for first. Let's see. The NLE Choppas definitely looking pretty good, but, we were here for that game where they beat us, and I don't know that they beat us without a snowstorm. So I'd like to see that rematch. I'd like to see it when both teams are tied for first. I think there's a lot of good storylines in that, so that's what I'm rooting for.
There you go. Husky with the prediction. Last thing I'll mention, March 14th, like we said earlier, going to be our first foray into the 2v2 tournament realm. Going to be hosting the Shamrock Showdown that date. Circle it on your calendar. Sign up. Find your best lane partner. And show us what you got. It's going to be fun, hopefully. Yeah. I mean, good showing from Rivals, OSGA. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. This has been Righteous and Husky. We'll be signing off. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, have a good one, guys.